Anyway, alright, so this is Messy Boy Studio, aka Metro's Music Academy. And I'm just going to show you some intervallic distance on the guitar. So you can kind of know where you're at. And I'll just do it, basically it's going to be, we're just going to focus from the E, A, and D string. So we're not going to fuck with the G, B, and E right now, just to make it easy. And I'm on the 5th fret, so you could see it. I mean, we could start anywhere, but... So, yeah, I mean, I'm no fucking professional guitar player, like... I'm not even really that good, but I can play. I can play rhythm like a motherfucker. And at least I know, like, if I'm improvising, I have an idea of where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't tell you if this was a fucking B or, you know, but if I have context, you know, if I'm doing something down here, I can kind of figure out where I'm at pretty easily. I just don't know if I'm up here, like, without thinking about it for a second, whether or not it's gonna, you know, what note or whatever. But like I said, if I know, you know, like if this is A and this is my octave, right? Then this has to be the second. So that distance right here is a 2, or is a second. You know. So anyway, let's do this from the scriggity scratch. So we're gonna start on A. So I mean, if you just play your scale, I mean, you kind of you know, that will obviously, that's gonna help you identify obviously like what notes you're playing. And there's also like so many different ways to play the major scale and minor scales. There's like 7 positions that you could do for a major scale, which is insane. But I'm just going to show you one, and then I'm going to show you, yeah, just like understanding the distance away from like a root note or just a note. You know, you need a home note. So check this out. So if we just do a fucking simple major scale, starting your finger, 2nd finger, and 4th finger. So this is the way it's gonna work: is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Obviously your thumb's not in there. So if I say start on your 2nd finger, that's gonna be your middle. So the major scale, 7 notes, right? If you want to think about it in whole steps and all that shit, it's whole, half, whole, half. Oh yeah, baby, that's a lot of holes. And so yeah, so I mean, and then just on guitar, let me just show you this. Let me just show you how to play it. So it'd be like, right? So 2nd finger. I'm not gonna teach you this how to play it. Just showing you that this is the major scale. But if we think about it, we got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7. Oops. The 6, the 7, and then the 8. So if we're thinking about intervallic distance away from the root note, right? So from here to here, like if you do this in any context on guitar, where like this is on my 2nd finger's on the 5th fret, and then my index is on the A string, 4th fret. No matter what, this is always going to be a major 3rd interval, no matter where I'm at on the fretboard. And that's true even on the A string. So if I wanted to jump up a little bit, it's the same distance. That's always a major 3rd. So if you're like playing on the keys, or you're trying to just form any sort of major without even adding the 3rd note, this distance is a major 3rd. Doesn't matter where I'm at. So anyway, so this is a major 3rd, right? Now if you played the note right above the root note, we'll just bar it with our index finger. I'm just playing the E and the A. Don't worry about these, and don't worry about what these other fingers are doing. They're just in the way. I can't get rid of them. So any note that's directly underneath of it, like from here to here, that's a perfect fourth. Always. Even if you're on the A string, even if you're on the D string. So perfect fourth, doesn't matter where you're at. These two notes, or it's just directly underneath of it. So that distance is a perfect fourth. And then if you think about like power chords, or like punk music, any rock music really, power chords, it's just a 1 and a 5. So this distance right here, so the 5th fret, and then if I skip a fret and go to the 7th fret on the next string though, always a perfect 5th, no matter what. And you can play anything. If you add the pinky, you can, it's just an octave, so you're just reinforcing the 1, so it's like 1, 5 octave. There's no major or minor quality to it because it's just a 1 and a 5. Right? So this is always a 5, no matter if I'm here, right? So always a perfect 5th. So right now we have the root note to here. It's a minor 3rd. Right, then we got perfect 4th, the one that's directly underneath the root note. We got perfect 5th, which you're going to be using a lot if you're playing rhythm guitar. I'm just fucking around because I'm not adding any thirds. You could really get away with key changes or just playing all over the neck and like, I mean, it's, whatever, you do you. But I'm just saying that's a perfect 5th. So, perfect major 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th. Now let's jump. We're going to skip the A string. And we're going to play on the same fret, but just skipping a string. So it's kind of like the perfect 4th, but you're skipping, so you're jumping a whole string. So this right here is a flat 7 or a minor 7 distance, but I'll just say flat 7. So if you're playing like a minor chord, you could just get away with just playing the 1 and the flat 7. And that's kind of the beauty of this too, is like play less, like to do all this, I'm having to do, like, if I just cared about, I don't really need the octave anymore, right? So I can just skip that and just play these 3. And you just gotta mute with like the fat of your finger. I'm not saying you're fat, just saying you gotta use the fluffy part of your finger. But you don't have to have your pinky down as well. I mean, if you want to reinforce it, you can. Right, but it's... So anyway, let's get back to this distance. So that's a flat 7. Right? Now if you want to do a major 6 interval, it's kind of like the major 3rd, but you're skipping a string. So it's kind of the same thing as the flat, you gotta skip. So from here to here, see how I'm only playing the E and the D string? here to here is a major 6. Flat 7, major 6. You know, you can come up with some cool sounds. But again, no matter where you're at, it's a major 6. I'm just messing around. So yeah, that's a major 6. And really there's only, yeah, so let's do the major 7 actually. So from the root note, so you know, this is your octave, right? The major 7's always a half step below the root, right? So this distance where I'm on the root note, let's go back to the A string, or 8th fret, sorry, 5th fret A string, right? That's a major 7 interval, no matter where you're at. So like if you're playing, you know, so this is a full major 7 chord right here. But if you just break it down, there's the 1, major 7. Now if you think about, you know, you got to also know how to identify your octaves right away. It's always going to be like a whole, like a 1 fret or like 2 frets apart, and it's always going to be like 2 strings down, like at a diagonal. Always. I'm just muting the top string with my, so I can play. So don't pay attention to my middle finger. Or you can use your pinky. Let's see, no matter what octave. So you need to know where your octaves are at all times, and that also helps identify like what note is that? Because like back into this major 7, it's a little hard to see everything, but here's the top 3 notes. So actually I could just, because this is the same note. But anyway, you got the 1, the major 7, this note. So if I excuse me, if I just follow the octave, like what is that? How do I identify that? Oh, remember, if I'm up here, then the octave has to be down here. It just has to. You go diagonal, right? So that's the major 3rd. Remember, because if this was the root note, remember this intervallic distance? That's a major 3rd. So if you bring that up an octave, now you have the 1, the major 7, the major 3rd. Oops. So this last note now, it's like, what is that? Now, this is another way to find octaves. So like, you keep the shape, and then you just take all the other fingers off to figure out, okay, that's the note we're trying to find. If you go down to the this might be a harder way to explain this other octave, but let's see what's a better way. I think you just need to know that it's just diagonal this way, but it's like still 2 strings apart, and it is diagonal, and it is on like how these octaves are. It's just that these octaves, right? So that's the 7th fret and the 5th fret. 7th fret A string, 5th fret B string. And you're like, what is that? Oh, that's the perfect 5th, right? So you just need to know that what on guitar, you know, compared to keys, they're not always going to be played in the order that you would think about them on. It's a lot easier on keys because everything is in the same, it's just a pattern over and over and over. But on guitar, the you know, the 7 could be over here, the 5 could be over, you know what I mean? It's not going to be exactly in the same order of like 1, 3, 5, 7 for a major 7. You're going to have to break it up on guitar. Like this is 1, 7, 3, 5. You're like, whoa, that's pretty crazy, you know? So, yeah. So we got our major 7 intervallic distance. So let's just recap. We got major 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th. We got major 7, flat 7, major 6. Now let's do minor 6. You could do it with just 2 fingers. So from here to here. So 5th fret, skip a string, and then 3rd fret, D string. That's a minor 6. Or you, same thing here. So remember, this is the perfect 5th. If you just go up a half step, that's the minor 6. But you can also access it from here. Right, so, yeah. So we got octave, major 7, flat 7, major 6, minor 6, perfect 5th, perfect 4th, major 3rd. Let's do a minor 3rd. All you gotta do is just, if you think about what makes a minor, you know, what makes a major major or whatever, how do you go from major to minor? You just drop the 3rd a half step. So if you know that this is a 3rd from here, and you're like, oh, drop it down a half step and note. Well, this is a half step right here. I'm gonna use my 3rd finger just for this. So that distance is a minor 3rd, which is the same thing as this. Like if you're playing the pentatonic, you got 1 minor 3rd. So if it's skipping 2 frets. So I could show you a little pentatonic. You can get away with a lot just by if you just throw this chromaticism. But anyway, that's the minor 3rd. It's the same thing here. And then we just got our 2nd. But that's not really important. I mean, it is something you're going to be using, but to know how far away something is, and to be able to know where you're at, like you're like, oh, these 2 notes, oh, they sound so cool. What else can I add? You know, how can I add another note? You're like, okay, that's the flat 7, but maybe I want to add a 5. You know your 5 is here. You can also just bar this down and do 5. So anyway, let's recap one more last time and then we'll fucking call it. So we got from here to here, octave, major 7, flat 7, or minor 7, major 6, minor 6, perfect 5th. Now let's do one more actually real quick. Right below, above the 5, or below the 5 and above the 4 is a sharp 4 or flat 5. It's also known as a tritone. Like, listen how scary that is. I'm scared. So yeah, I needed to throw that in there because it is part of it. So, but let's do it one more time. Octave, major 7, flat 7, major 6, minor 6, perfect 5th, flat 5, sharp 4, perfect 4th, major 3rd, second, flat second, and then fucking, yeah. But if you could do that and keep your finger there, this is just a good exercise for finger independence. You know what I mean? If you could do this, you know, that's just gonna help your playing. Instead of going like, you know, don't put your fingers all over the place. Keep shit fucking nearby, so they, when they're, it's like a play, you know. If the guy is ready to come out for his line, if he's all the way over here, if he's behind the stage, there's no way it's gonna take him too long to get there. So leave everybody nearby, but don't fucking rest everything either, you know. And that's it. And that's my tune, baby boo. Baby. Okay. Alright, Metros Music Academy, Messy Boy Room Studios. Bye.